This is a demonstration of the Lockpick installation in a 2013 CMAX. Lockpick is going to connect to the large connector on the back of the screen here. It has a tab that you press in, and the locking bar lifts up and releases the connector itself. Here we're just plugging in the Lockpick harness. There's no other connections necessary for the standard installation in the car. You do your installation, you're just going to tuck the module and the harness back behind the screen itself. Before plugging in the Lockpick module, we're going to set the dip switches properly. We're going to have 3 and 4 down, and also dip switch number 11 is going to be down. So 3, 4, and 11 are down on the communication side. On the other side of the module, we have a rotary switch. We're going to place that in position number 1. And then the option switches are going to be determined by what features we want to activate in the Lockpick. The Lockpick can turn on a backup camera function in the CMAX. It's going to use the RCA input that's included on the cable. This is labeled rear camera video input. This is where you're going to connect your rear camera if you want to add one to the vehicle. And it's just a simple matter of taking dip switch number 1, placing it down. That will begin the programming process for the screen. The screen's going to blank out for about 30 seconds while this occurs. And it's going to reactivate with a message on it that says it's performing system maintenance. There's a graph that will show in there and say it takes about 30 seconds. After it completes, it'll reboot, and the rear camera function will be activated using the video input on the module. If you've already got a backup camera, then you can just leave the dip switch up as it is, and you'll be able to turn that camera on whenever you want to. There's also separate video inputs that are on the box that are included. This can be for a front camera, or another video source, or another auxiliary source here. These are activated using switches number 3 and 4 on the Lockpick module. With 3 down, it activates this video input. 4 down activates this one. So if you want both of them, you put both switches down. All functions of the Lockpick are controlled by the voice button on the steering wheel. You're just going to pull and hold this for 3 seconds to activate the override feature. That's going to give you your AV input for the screen. That'll operate while you're in drive and while you're in motion. If you continue to hold the voice button for 5 seconds, you're going to get a second beep. That's going to be to activate the camera function. In this particular vehicle, we already have a factory rear view camera, so I'll demonstrate that. I'll just pull it and hold it. You get a single beep as we pass through the override. Keep holding. That's going to be the backup camera. And now we're demonstrating the backup camera being shown while the vehicle's in park. You can put the car in any gear and it'll still show you this backup camera. You can turn it off again using the same procedure. Just hold it. Get 2 beeps, it turns it back off again. You can also use the same button to toggle through the video sources, whichever ones you have activated on the module itself. If you're plugging in another video source here for a front camera or second camera, aux input, all those can be toggled through using the same button on the steering wheel. And putting it back together is just a reverse of what we did earlier. You're putting this back in, make sure your air conditioning vents are popped in properly. Sometimes when you're taking this out, they're going to unclip, so make sure they're lined up and slip back in again. Notice earlier in the video when we were removing this top panel, we turned it sideways. That's necessary to get it out from that back clip. And that completes the installation.